Thanks to the influx of cash coming in due to Gainbridge, Spire Motorsports has become the Steve Cohen of NASCAR. Throwing big money at spotters, at top personnel, and now they're starting to go after drivers. For 2025, Michael McDowell is coming to Spire Motorsports. This is a driver that's a Daytona 500 champion, and last season he straight up beat Chase Elliott to lock himself into the playoffs. In an era where money and youth seems to be the main drivers as to who gets the top seats in racing, Michael McDowell is one of the biggest success stories in the NASCAR Cup Series, going from a start and park driver to winning some of the most marquee races NASCAR has to offer. Spire Motorsports signing Michael McDowell means that they've created the most God-fearing team in the entire series. Spire Motorsports is going to have the reputation, whether it be good or bad, that if they rub a driver the wrong way, Corey Lajoie or Michael McDowell is just going to send them a nice Bible quote as an apology. For Spire Motorsports, they now have an incredibly talented roster for the long term. You have Michael McDowell, you have Corey Lajoie, who went over a year without a DNF, plus you have Carson Hocevar taking that number 77 to places Ty Dillon couldn't even imagine. I honestly believe that Spire Motorsports has the potential to be that second best team at Chevrolet. Eventually, they could get to the point where they're beating RCR and they're even beating Trackhouse, because I believe that they're expanding a bit too quickly. With Spire Motorsports, they're expanding, but it seems like they're doing it in the right way. They have the big money to do so thanks to Gainbridge, and they also have a strong culture that is focused on becoming championship contenders. It might take a few years, but Spire Motorsports has made tremendous strides just in this last offseason, and I believe it's just going to continue to spiral into something bigger. Now you have Michael McDowell, a veteran in the NASCAR Cup Series. He is the fourth longest tenured Cup Series driver in the field. This is someone that's not going to tear up race cars. He's going to be extremely consistent, and also he's going to be a strong mentor to help push Lajoie, as well as Carson Hocevar, to even greater heights. Plus, I believe this helps solidify more of the path for Nick Sanchez. I believe that Nick Sanchez is going to be in the Cup Series for Spire Motorsports within the next 3 to 5 years. By hiring a driver like Michael McDowell, this not only sets a plan, as McDowell likely only has a few years left in his career, but also Michael McDowell is going to give the crew chief of the number 71 some great notes to where he is going to be better equipped to help Nick Sanchez whenever he makes the jump up, likely in that number 71. Because let's face it, Zane Smith in the 71, that type of rookie season, that's just not it. By hiring Michael McDowell, Spire Motorsports is putting Nick Sanchez in a situation where he can exceed as a rookie like Carson Hocevar is doing this season. So what about Michael McDowell and the team he is leaving behind? McDowell has been the franchise driver for Row Motorsports. He helped elevate that program from a team at the back of the NASCAR Cup Series grid to now an organization getting Tier 1 support from Ford. Let's say you're in the shoes of Bob Jenkins, and now Michael McDowell is going to help develop another team's Cup program. You might think that you were betrayed or cheated on. Maybe you decide to take this even further and go over to Michael McDowell's house and cut up his shoes. Although, from what it sounds like, Michael McDowell wanted the stability. He wanted to make sure he would have a couple more years in the Cup Series, which makes sense because right now the rumor mills are swirling around Front Row Motorsports. Are they going to expand? Are they going to merge with Stewart-Haas? There's a lot of uncertainty about the Ford Cup Series program right now. Maybe McDowell does sign with Front Row Motorsports and then they merge with Stewart-Haas. With how the ownership game plays out, somehow, some way, Michael McDowell's contract could end up being void. Plus, if Front Row Motorsports expands to 3 cars, there are going to be some growing pains. Michael McDowell went through this in 2019, as while his stats improved, overall Front Row Motorsports had a worse season in 2019 to 2018 because they expanded to 3 cars. When Michael McDowell joins Spire Motorsports, they are going to be a second-year 3-car team. they're not going to have as many growing pains. And that's why I think that Michael McDowell is going to be in a better position at Spire long term than Front Row Motorsports. We've seen what Spire Motorsports equipment is capable of this season with Carson, Hocevar, and even Corey Lajoie at the super speedways. Michael McDowell is not going to skip a beat. He's still going to be as competitive as ever on super speedways and road courses. Except now he's going to have the stability around him and possibly better pit crews and better team members, because this is, after all, the Hendrick Motorsports B team. Honestly, Michael McDowell, the Spire Motorsports, is the best opportunity for him to maximize his potential and to further continue his evolution in the NASCAR Cup Series. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, Fuel Cell Full has plenty of videos on modern NASCAR. Meanwhile, for historical NASCAR content, I encourage you to go watch my original channel, NRF Productions. Other than that, this is Nathan for Digital Gas House. Life's a beach, and then you drive.